In June 1999, an 18-year-old named Sean Fanning released a peer-to-peer file-sharing application from his college dorm room. The software scaled at a pace the world had never seen. By 2001, it hit 80 million users, processing more traffic than the entire internet had handled just a few years earlier. They had to add 50 mainframe computers simply to keep the servers from melting. Their strategy followed the classic late 90s tech playbook: acquire a massive user base by giving the product away for free, and figure out how to make money later. But the leadership developed a profound blind spot. They assumed that having tens of millions of active users made them untouchable, ignoring the legal reality that their entire product relied on distributing copyrighted material without paying the creators. That illusion shattered on December 6, 1999. The Recording Industry Association of America filed a massive copyright infringement lawsuit, demanding an immediate shutdown of the service. High-profile musicians quickly joined the attack. Artists like Metallica and Dr. Dre filed their own lawsuits, dragging a corporate legal dispute into a highly public cultural war. Napster tried to use its sheer scale as a shield against copyright law, setting up a definitive test case. Could rapid technological adoption override the federal legal system? But not everyone in the recording industry wanted to destroy them. Executives at Bertelsmann, the parent company of the BMG label, realized peer-to-peer distribution was inevitable. In October 2000, Bertelsmann offered a lifeline, an $85 million loan to help transition the platform into a legitimate, subscription-based service that would compensate artists. Inside the startup, the leadership fractured over the offer. CEO Hank Berry pragmatically recognized that a licensing deal was their only path to survival, while founder Sean Fanning felt torn between striking a deal and maintaining his original vision. The fatal block came from the investors. Venture capital firm Hammer Winblad and early investor John Fanning vetoed the compromise. They wanted the platform free to inflate user metrics and chase a massive IPO valuation. By February 2001, CEO Hank Berry made one final, desperate counteroffer to the labels. This chart breaks down his proposal: a $1 billion settlement paid out over 5 years. Each annual block was structured to send $150 million to the major labels and $50 million to independent artists. While the hostile recording industry eventually rejected that offer, the real damage was already done internally. The board actively sabotaged their own path to legitimacy by prioritizing theoretical billions over guaranteed survival. By rejecting early deals, investor pressure forced the company to bet its entire existence on winning an incredibly risky, all-or-nothing fight in court. Their primary legal defense relied on fair use. They argued that users were simply sampling music before buying it, or space-shifting CDs they already owned onto their hard drives, comparing the software to a household VCR. This strategy rested on heavy ideological hubris. The leadership genuinely convinced themselves that their cause was entirely righteous and that the legal system would simply bend to accommodate their disruption. It didn't. In February 2001, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals rejected the fair use defense, ruling the service existed entirely to facilitate copyright infringement. Courts evaluate strict legal compliance, not user popularity or business strategy. By failing to secure a license, Napster allowed the judges to permanently close their last viable escape route. On March 6, 2001, District Court Judge Marilyn Patel issued a preliminary injunction. She ordered the company to immediately block any copyrighted songs listed by the plaintiffs. Users bypassed the block almost instantly by slightly renaming their audio files. Provoked, Judge Patel issued a modified injunction: achieve 100% filtering of all copyrighted material, or shut down entirely. Perfect filtering was a technical impossibility. Rather than wait for court enforcement, the company voluntarily pulled the plug on July 1, instantly cutting off millions of users. Their absolute refusal to negotiate a compromise when they had leverage resulted in total annihilation. The company filed for bankruptcy and sold its remaining assets in a fire sale for just $5.3 million. 10 years later, in 2011, Daniel Ek launched Spotify in the United States. Spotify built a $100 billion empire by executing the exact same subscription and licensing model that Napster's boardroom had actively vetoed. For modern tech founders, the first lesson is stark. Regulatory risk cannot be ignored. A massive user count does not grant you immunity from the law. Second, you have to actively manage your board. You need investors aligned on the actual survival of the company, rather than those willing to risk everything for an unrealistic valuation. True innovation requires knowing the exact moment to stop breaking things, sit down at the table, and negotiate a deal to legitimize your disruption.